Hello, my name is Janelle Torres. This is the Media Clip Project. The objective I chose was objective number 4, which was the candidate will utilize strategies that promote learning, social acceptance, motivation, and self-esteem in students. The main reason I chose objective 4 is that the school I am currently working in deals with a lot of behavior students. These students quite often have behavior issues that deal with social issues, self-esteem issues, and motivation issues, as well as the obvious learning disabilities. I'm going to start with learning. So some strategies for learning that I found were mastery learning, classroom-centered intervention, service learning, things that I found in our textbook. My current favorite or go-to is the mastery learning. I like that you keep teaching until they master the content. Oftentimes, this is done with direct instruction programs, which I am very familiar with. As a para, I run several groups, and so we don't move on until the student has mastered the skill. This seems to work well for those students who are below grade level. A lesson that goes with service learning. Actually, let me go back. Sorry. So service learning is instructional activities that integrate teaching activities with community service. You would ask questions of the whole class and use a cooperative learning strategy like think, pair, share. I found, even though I like the mastery learning, I found the service learning to be very interesting. And so I found a lesson plan that goes with service learning. This basic lesson is that the students are going to plan, create, and execute a business proposition that will benefit a local charity. This is going to engage students in the community and build relationships. This also works as far as getting the community involved in our schools, which is a big thing right now, is to find stakeholders and community support. So basically the lesson goes is students will team up with a partner or group and they're going to create a business. And what that entails is that they're going to have an item. They're going to have to come up with a product and then a way to promote that product. Some examples of products are going to be like bracelets, popsicle frame, picture frames, baked goods. Slime is a big thing right now with the glue. Just some kind of product. Then they're going to promote their product. They can make posters. They can make brochures. They can do commercials. The commercials can be filmed using iPads. The app iMovie is really neat. I've seen it used in our 6th grade. It's simple, easy to use. Even our 4th graders can use it. So they're gonna create these things. Then they're going to again, they're going to, I guess, promote. They're going to share their product with the school. They're going to set up a time when they can sell their product in the school. At the end, they're going to take their profits and they're going to donate it to a local charity. The best part about this, or the most important part, is that the children themselves take their profits to the charity in person. This builds a relationship with those charities, and they can see firsthand what they're doing to help those people in need. I just thought it was a neat lesson that went with the service-based learning. The next area I decided to focus on was strategies for social acceptance. So there's the SSIS, which is the Social Skills Improvement System, and it's a commonly used social skills rating scale. And there are some things here that that go along with that. So these green ones, cooperation and empathy, those can be improved, and skills that can be improved upon and built upon in the classroom. The gray ones are a little more difficult, responsibility and self-control. Those ones, again, take a little more time. Communication, assertion, and engagement, those are the hardest social skills to build upon in the classroom. Those as a teacher, those are going to be the ones that give us the most problems. Some of the things that I like and that I've seen being used are books that promote these social skills. So skills that we want to consider are values and friendship, thoughts, emotions, decisions, serious peer conflicts, especially if you are dealing with older grades. I listed a few books here. There's some books about fear, books about risk-taking, and books about friendship. I actually had the opportunity to watch a lesson on The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds for a 3rd grade class. And so I went ahead and checked out our book, The Dot, from the library. Basically, it's about a student who was asked to do an art project. Well, she didn't want to do an art project. She didn't like art. She just didn't believe in herself that she could draw. So eventually she just grabs a marker and stabs the paper with it. So she creates like a dot. So instead of reprimanding the student or getting upset at the student, the art teacher encourages her to sign her work. From there, it goes on and she creates more dots. It's a really neat story, especially when I seen it being done in the lesson, as there are several kids in 3rd grade who have issues, and they don't have behavior issues, and they don't like, or I don't want to say they don't like, but they don't participate in whole class activities. I don't know if that's because they feel like they can't do it, if they feel a little inferior to the kids because they're a little slower. Whatever the reason, this book was really neat, and those particular students were able to participate even though they couldn't do what we were doing. This book lets them know that it's okay. It's okay if you can't do what somebody else might be able to do. Strategies for motivation. So there are several points to help motivate students. The number one for me is you need to be a role model for your students' interests. You need to get to know them. So that's a big part of motivating students. I have a 6th grader who is motivated by time on the computer. So we do our lesson, and if he does a great job during the lesson, he gets that extra 5 minutes at the end of our time to do a game on the computer. For the most part, this works with many students who have motivation issues. There are several activities that you can do. There's teaching by discovery and cooperative learning. I like the discovery strategy, as students are able to work through this on their own. And when they do it on their own, the reward is that much more better. Strategies for self-esteem. So recognizing low self-esteem in students is the first step to correcting it. I have here a list of some, oh my gosh, I'm so so sorry. Points that some behaviors, behaviors to recognize. One that I see a lot in our school is avoiding activities, which is avoid attempting new activities for fear of failure. Whether it's fear of failure or fear like they don't want to be embarrassed, I see this a lot, is they shut down. They don't try. They don't want to try. Another one is blaming others for their problems and mistakes. There's a few students that I work with that's their go-to. It's not their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Building activities for building self-esteem. So I work in an elementary school, and some of the strategies I found are challenging students to keep track of all the things that they can do, and have them create a list that they can look back to throughout the year. I've seen this work exceptionally well in younger students. It shows them what it's a visual of what they can do. We had a guest speaker come and talk about the power of yet. And that, I think, goes along with this building self-esteem. Instead of teaching, I guess, we don't want our kids to say they can't do it. If we're going to use the word can't, we want them to say we can't do it yet, because that's a skill we haven't learned yet. And I think that's big with these children. In middle school, you can do, the one that I thought was interesting was have students estimate how long it will take them to complete a task, and then have them do it. And once they figure out that they can do it in a shorter time and a shorter commitment is required, they're going to be more apt and confident to do their work. I think that's important too. And that goes along with a whole getting your work done efficiently and stuff. High school students, I have not had a chance to work with high school students, but I did find some strategies. I would assume that it would be a little harder, as they already know their mind and stuff, so it would be harder to, I guess, coach and motivate them. But there are some strategies here that I have listed. Some of the sources I used had some great information. The Vanderbilt website, throughout this whole class I think I've used them several times as a source, and they've always provided great information. Same with the teachhub.com. It has awesome resources to use. Overall, I am very excited to continue my journey, and I am so grateful I got to take this class. And yeah, so thanks. That's it.